For all of you that had refused to buy a GoPro Hero 4 camera because you were just waiting for something smaller and lighter to come out because they're just too massive and bulky and awkward to be used properly, good news, the GoPro Hero 4 Session is here. Let's have a look at it. Hi, my name's Matt Widgery from mattwidgery.com. Yes, indeed, today we're looking at the announcement from GoPro of the Hero 4 Session, which is the latest camera in the lineup to the GoPro range. And it sits in price at about the same money as the Silver. So it's £329.99 in UK money. Now, what do you get? Is it about the same then as the Silver? Well, no, it isn't. You get quite substantially less for the same money. So let's delve into some of the specs and figure out what you're losing for all that money that's the same, and see if there's anything that you might gain and if it's any good, and whether you should hold off buying a Silver now and wait for the Session when it comes out very quickly. So, right, first of all, the big headline, it's smaller. So you're losing some bulk. You know, I don't know. For me personally, I've always considered the GoPro a fairly small camera. But, you know, nevertheless, it is 50% smaller than the old one and is 40% lighter. So there is a significant size and weight saving from the current cameras that are on sale from GoPro. So you're not getting extra bulk and weight, but, you know, okay, that might be a useful thing for you. We'll come on to that in a second. You're losing a few more other things, though. I mean, let's not beat around the bushes. You also lose 4K and 2.7K. Neither of those two are on the camera. You just get standard 1080p. If you shoot in 4.3, you do get 1440. I don't know who's shooting in 4.3, but you do get that. You get some slow-mo modes as well. At 1080p, you are getting 60 frames per second, and if you shoot at 720p, you do get 100 frames per second, so that is kind of cool. You also do get, it has to be said, and this is kind of nice, something called Pro Tune for video, and this unlocks the camera's full potential, delivering minimally compressed cinema caliber video optimized for professional pick up a penguin, professional productions. So that's kind of nice. I guess this means it's like it doesn't say it's uncompressed footage, but it does say minimally compressed. So I don't know exactly what that means, but it's going to be a flat-ish profile with more data in it than you would get, from a standard output, and so therefore you're going to have a little bit more detail, hopefully, in the dynamic range that you can pull out in post-production later. And that's always welcome. That's something nice. What else don't you get though? Well, you're not going to get very many buttons on there. There's one button on there that just controls everything. It is durable and waterproof and all that sort of stuff. The only way to control it, you get a smart remote thing that you have to buy separately, or you can control it via your iPhone. But so there's a lot you don't get. But and there's a camera in it which will do 8 megapixel in its full wide frame, or 5 megapixel if you crop in a bit digitally. I really wouldn't recommend you do that though. I would shoot in the 8 and then decide later where you want the frame lines to be, rather than let it do the 5 megapixel crop of your 8 megapixel image and then figure out you've chopped something off later. So I don't know why that's on there, but it does have good time lapse on there. You can set the interval from half a second to 60 seconds, and it'll also do a nice burst mode of 10 frames per second as well. Doesn't actually say if it does do autofocus in between those, but one would hope so for an action cam. Now, the real kind of thing, I guess, that you're looking to get something like this camera for is its ability to mount in small places, and places where you've struggled before to get an action camera. So, that is probably what you're looking at. I mean, anybody that's ever tried to mount one of these things on like a helmet, for example, it does stick up a long way. And if you're doing mountain biking and that kind of stuff, then I can see them getting caught on branches and all that sort of stuff. And there are just other places where it could be unwieldy to have something, or just dangerous to have something sticking up. So this is a much smaller, much tinier little cube that will, solve problems for some people, even though for a lot of people, they will want the features of the Silver or the Black, which come in, certainly the Silver is identical in money. So we shall see when it comes out, whether or not it is a huge success, or whether or not this is just adding another thing for the sake of it, or just perhaps trying to get into that little tiny sort of, market segment alongside the Polaroid Cube, for example. The Polaroid Cube comes in at half the money of this. So, you have to say that there are, other things on the market if you want the teeny tiny cameras, compared to the £330 that GoPro are going to want for the Hero 4 Session. That being said, there are a lot of people that, they won't look at any other action cam only because GoPro have done such a good job with marketing their cameras, and they are very good cameras, it has to be said, but they've done such a good job with the marketing that it's almost become a byword for action cam. So people will go and buy a GoPro before they'll go and buy an action cam. It's like nothing else gets really a look in because they don't perceive the quality as being the same. So we shall see when it comes out whether or not it's any good, but that was a first look at the HERO4 Session from GoPro. It will be on sale fairly soon, and in the UK it will be £329.99p. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.